Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Right, here we are then. Have you got your flask ready? Did you get you another one? Yeah, you're gonna need it today, I think. Got a lot. Wow, it was good, weren't it? Anyway, hope you had a good Christmas anyway, and yeah, hope the horses went well for you. Hope you finished the right side. Yeah, it was good, weren't it? Yeah, proper roller coaster, ups and downs. As you'd expect. Right, we'll go all the way back then. We've got loads to get through. I've got a selection for Wednesday for you as well. I've had a bet for Wednesday. Um, yeah, I'll just do that at the end anyway. Right, yeah. Rewind to Boxing Day then. We'll go to Aintree first. They're going with soft, good to soft in places after race one. Yeah, I think, yeah. It were foggy as well, weren't it? It were. That were a bit annoying, weren't it? First couple of days, like some amazing racing, and like you couldn't see after it. But yeah, anyhow, we got the 2 mile one, Grade One Formby Novice Hurdle. Potter's Charm beat Miami Magic 2 1/4 lengths here. Yeah, always prominent. Hit the front two out, driven out after the last. Yeah, unbeaten under rules. Won at 2 miles, which I like for the Ballymore, and he's got track form as well. I'm not sure what he's beat so far, but he's a worthy contender. He's worth his place in the lineup there for Ballymore. Um, yeah, I ain't gone into too much detail on a lot of these races, and there'll be plenty of notable performances I've just skipped altogether, and there's still loads. you know, yeah. It took me a while to get all this together. A few chores and stuff I was supposed to get done today, so hopefully the wife's all right with me when she gets home. Kempton, the going were good to soft in places. 3 mile Grade One Courthouse Star Novice Chase. The jukebox man beat Highland 2.5 lengths. Yeah, he shortened into the first, flew the second, and he kind of sat in third. A good jump at the ninth carried him into second, and from there he just sort of sat on Highland's tail. He winged 5 out, and the next he was still sat waiting. Another good jump 2 out, and he was sent off into the lead. He measured the last well, and he was ridden out for a very comfortable victory. Yeah, this were good. It were good. This were a change of tactics for the jukebox man, weren't it? The thing that just put you off slightly for the Browns with that sort of attacking Cavalier style could be hard to pull off. As I mentioned before, it could be quite attritional, that race this year, with the big field, strong pace, probable soft ground. That was the thing we were worried about, but they changed tactics here. He doesn't have to lead, does he? He travelled and jumped well here. He well nailed in the shadows of the post, weren't he, in the Albert Bartlett. But, riding him like this, they can conserve that energy a bit more. I'd say he's a huge contender for the Browns, I really think he is. Connections mentioned Arkle. I just read something yesterday, I think they were saying, it could come down to the ground, and if it's like soft, they might go Arkle. That just sounds a bit mental to me. Did you see Sergino? Yeah, I don't know why you'd be going hardcore with this horse. I think the Browns is his race. You know, I mean, he only just got done on bad ground in Albert Bartlett, and they can ride him that little bit less aggressively now. So yeah, and I think he's a big contender there. He is. I think the English have got a good shout there with him. Right then, 2 mile Grade One, Christmas Hurdle. Constitution Hill beat Lossiemouth 2.5 lengths. Burdett Road another 6.5 lengths back in third. Now I'll just give you my views here, okay? So don't be getting upset with me. I'm kind of expecting all these subscribers to start dropping off after this, but I'll just tell you what I think, right? Okay. I'm often wrong, you know. Right. Burdett Road led at a good clip. Lump Sum sat second, Constitutional third, and Lossiemouth sat in last. Lozzie, yeah, she were big at the first, and on the run to the third, she were like 4 behind Constitutional, being kind of niggled to go the pace. She always never quite looked in a comfort zone here, did she? You know, Constitutional weren't great at the third. He stood off the fourth a mile. He stood a mile off the fourth, and he gave the fifth a bit more air than usual for him. It was sound jump, just a bit more air than he'd usually give him. That could have been by design after the jump before, I don't know. Yeah, he were fast 3 out, and Nico kind of rode him into a pocket, didn't he, turning for home. He was tracking Burdett Road. We Lump Sum to his outside. Lozzie, she closed to win about 2 lengths behind him, trying to follow him through. They really quickened on the approach to 2 out. The Constitutional was pulled to the outside of Burdett Road. Paul looked just for a moment like he wanted to he was like looking for a split between them, but there were no room there. So just before the hurdle on the approach, he sort of went wider of Constitutional. Now, Constitutional were fast again there, and he were way and gone. You know, Lossiemouth, she just seemed to lack that extra gear to go with him. And Constitutional were fast again at the last, and he were driven out on the run in to score by 2.5 lengths from Lossiemouth. Okay. Got loads of notes here. Right. Being honest, I wanted Lossiemouth to win it. I did. But despite that, there was a part of me here that were really pleased that Constitutional did this. That's the honest truth, you know. And that were really, it's just some of the chat, you know, Constitutional's finished, and a lot of it to me seemed disrespectful to Nicky, you know, and I didn't like that. You got these guys mouthing off. I'm not on social media, I'm not, but as you know, I watch a few other videos and stuff, and you know, sometimes I have a flick through the comments. I mean, what do these guys know, really? I mean, what do any of us know, you know? Nicky Henderson, for me, he's one of the greatest trainers of my lifetime, you know. He's a wizard with a walking wounded. He's, you know, the guy's a genius. He is, like in training ranks, he is, you know, and people giving out to him. And what do we know, you know? we just watch, don't we? We just bear witness to it all, you know. The guy's a genius. He is. He's one of the greatest trainers of my lifetime. And I were pleased for him, in that respect. I were, you know, to get him back in here in this sort of form, fantastic training performance. It were. Now, some of the comments from Connections afterwards. I think Connections are constitutional, said he'd improve a ton for that. Connections of Lozimal said she ran flat. I take both of those with a pinch of salt. I'll expand a little bit on why. I think he should sharpen up for this constitutional. He should. I mean, this was his first run for 12 months, but last year it was his first run for 8 months as well. But they have had issues, haven't they? You'd expect he will come on for it. You would, but he's not like a normal horse, is he? Where he has a run. Like if he goes to the international and then on to Cheltenham, fine. Like you'd expect he's going to improve from run to run. But I don't think he's going to. I think he'll end up going straight there. I think he's going to let him down and then build him back up again for the champion. I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. So I don't think he's going to progress from run to run like you'd see normally, But yeah, maybe you can get him a bit better than this, maybe. Now, but how much does Nicky dare tighten the screws on this horse, close to the race? I don't know, Yeah, so all I'm saying in that sense is I don't know how much he will improve for this if he goes straight to the champion hurdle. I think it's just a case of he's going to let him down, build him back up again, and just try and get him there, Okay, but yeah, maybe, like I say, the guy's a genius. Maybe he can get him there a fair bit better than this, But I'm just not quite so sure. Yeah, and to be fair to sort of Connections with the Loziemouth, Willie did seem to backtrack on that a little, saying that it was flat. She was flat. Yeah, I'd prefer to just kind of judge what we saw here with our own eyes, and form an opinion there. Now, for me, I didn't think Constitutional were quite the same as we've seen before. He didn't look so effortless from 2 out, like so otherworldly, as he has done before. He clearly a cracking high class 2 miler, and he should have a good chance in the champion hurdle. Personally, I think odds on is a mad price for this fella, I'd make him kind of odds against or evens at best to get there for a start. Just looking at it cold, at his overall profile, the races he's missed, I would, I'm not saying he can't win, and as I've said before plenty of times, I do think he's the best 2 mile hurdler I've ever seen. I hope you haven't seen Blue for a while, have you? She wants to go out. There you go. Right, where were we here? I'm just not sure he's that horse anymore based on what we saw. But he's clearly still very high class, isn't he? And he is trained by a genius. you know, like I said, I've got nothing against this horse. I haven't, you know, I backed him for his first champion hurdle. I backed him to win a second champion hurdle. You know, I've got nothing against him. I'm just looking at his profile cold. We've seen him twice in 2 years, haven't we? That's just for an odds-on shot at Cheltenham. You know, I did say this before the race, didn't I, as well? I'd just be a bit cautious there. Okay. Right, now Lossiemouth, yeah. Oh, that's the wrong Lossiemouth. Oh, yeah. Lossiemouth, yeah. I think she got a shock here, you know. I'm not quite buying the ran flat thing, you know. And to be fair, I saw an interview yesterday. I think Willie kind of suggested the same. You know, she's been mainly running over 2.5, hasn't she? You know, she's, I think, 2 mile, good ground, sharp track like this, at this pace, it just shocked her, you know, and caught her by surprise. She always looked to be struggling to go the pace. I do love how she stuck at it, you know, I like that about her. She's got a cracking attitude. She's always trying for you, you know. She stayed on, she stuck at it really well. I think the experience here will stand to her, you know. I think this will sharpen her up a lot. She's got 2.5 lengths to find with a winner here, hasn't she? Constitutional. A stiff 2 mile, you know, some dig in the ground. She's 3 from 3 at Cheltenham, you know. And Willie has this thing which is just amazing to me, how he can like switch a horse off and stretch it out and like get more pace into him as well. It's, you know, it's like he's got these on a dial, and I don't know how he does it. I don't, but you know, he'd probably train her up for a bit more speed and sharpen her up a bit. I think she'll come on a lot for this. Personally, I think she'll turn it around with Constitutional at Cheltenham, you know. If she'll beat Bright Days Ahead and this Amsterdam, I'm not quite so sure about that. I thought before this she were a poor price, and after it I think she's a good price. I think she was too short before, I think she's too big now. Okay. Burdett Road, he's no mug, he isn't. He's much improved this season, you know. That Greatwood hurdle form with class form, a winner came, finished 6th or something and took out a decent handicap hurdle the other week. Yeah, okay. Not saying he can't win, I'm not. I just think, you know, looking at it cold as a gambler, I think he's one I'd have to take on. And if I'm wrong, fine. I'll have a little smile on my face as he wins his second, you know. That's fine. Right. King George then, Banbridge beat Ile Francais a length and 3/4. La Hompress were another 10 lengths back in third. Yeah, Banbridge, this win inspired ride from Paul, weren't it? He didn't ask him anything really until around 4 out, where he had sort of 3 or so behind. And by the time they got to 3 out, he'd gone past them all bar the leader here. He sort of smelled blood, Paul, didn't he, between the last two. The French horse, he was steadied coming to the last. He were running on empty, weren't he? Banbridge met it on a good stride, flew it, and it was all over, weren't it? Where he goes from here, Gold Cup Ryanair, I'm not quite sure. I thought probably Ryanair, but we've been here before with this horse, haven't we? It's all about the ground for him. You just can't back this horse ante-post. Yeah, this were a long-term plan. It brilliantly executed by trainer and jockey, you know. The runner-up ran well, didn't he, the French horse? I thought he'd have Well, I thought he were weighing on. I thought he'd got, slipped him here. But he went out on his shield, didn't he? Spillane's Tower. Jimmy had reservations, didn't he, about the track and ground, the good ground for him. And that's kind of what it looked like for me. Probably, yeah, I think he just caught him out a little bit. He's a young horse, isn't he? I wouldn't be writing him off. I think there's still a lot more to come from Spillane's Tower. A little bit disappointing, but yeah. There's more to come from him, I'd say. Corbett's Cross, similar comments really to Spillane's Tower. Again, I think the sort of pace on the track on the good ground just caught him out a little bit. I'm not sure where he goes from here, but could still be going Gold Cup. I'm just going to have to let Blue out here. She's wanting to go out. She left me a present. It's one of her Christmas presents. She's got all this box of little toys. They've done remarkably well. Normally we get her a toy and she just tears it to shreds, like, But these little ones, she seems to be good with these. Strange. I thought they'd last like 2 minutes a piece, like, She's got a little box of them all. She'll want to come back in a bit as well. Where were we? Yeah. Leopardstown then, let's go there. Yeah, foggy again, weren't it? Chase course, good to yielding places. Hurdles yielding, good to yielding in places. 2 mile maiden hurdle, Kopek de Boards beat Kawabunga. Best part of 3 lengths here. Kopek de Boards, he didn't jump one hurdle well, did he? Not one, It's a woeful display of jumping on his hurdles debut. However, he's a fine big chasing type, isn't he? And he's really powerful, like, he just completely ran through one and he didn't stop him at all, like, he just kicked it out of the way, didn't he? He's got a huge engine, I'd say. Watching this, I'd say Ballymore rather than Supreme. A little like Jasmine Devout, although totally opposite to look at, but in that, they've got the engine, but they've got to improve that jumping, aren't they, if we're talking Cheltenham novice hurdles. But it is possible, I think Paul said after Jasmine Devout, and it was a good comment, to be fair. He says, it's easier to get him to jump than put the engine in, like, you need the engine first, and they're both in that respect. I think they've got the engine, but yeah, they'll have to improve the jumping. So the next run will tell us everything, I'd suggest, like, they'll either have improved a lot or jump the same again, and then if they jump the same again, you forget them, I think, like, for Cheltenham anyway. Kawabunga stayed on really nicely. Should improve plenty for another half mile, you'd say. But yeah, quite taken with the winner here, but he's got to jump better than this. He should be something over a fence, I'd say. 2 mile maiden hurdle, Work Ahead beat William when he's 7 here. He made all work ahead. He jumped well. He looks a strong, like, galloping type. Should make a lovely chaser as well. He was impressive, and this will have earned him a crack at the Grade 1, I'd imagine, at Dublin. Yeah. William Money, he was far too keen here, and he made quite a bad mistake at the 4th. In the circumstances, I thought he ran really well. If he settles better next time, he should be able to improve considerably on this. and he just about avoided that recycle bin. We had a point on him, didn't we? And he's teetering on the edge, but we'll just give him one more chance. Like I say, if he learns to settle, he should improve a lot on that. Right. Redemption Day were disappointing. Improved in bumpers when they dramatically dropped him out. Kind of rode him fairly handy and wide. Yeah, didn't suit. Worth noting, boost to Jasmine DeVoe from this. Workhead were beat nearly 10 by that horse, and the second, the Enabler, won yesterday as well. So that form's stacking up nice. And I suspect we'll see that horse on Sunday in the Lawlers and Ace, maybe. It was priced up as favourite anyway. Just has to improve its jumping. Right, 2 mile grade 2 juvenile hurdle. Hello Neighbour beat Lady Vega Allen short head here. Hello Neighbour, yeah, there was a bit of chat about this horse, weren't they? Jumped terribly again, you know, but moved through the race like a classy horse. Just clung on to win in a photo in the end. The front two were clear. You know, it could be nice, but he'll have to improve his jumping. Lady Vega Allen, yeah, she was scything the winner down close home, just failing to get up. I can't believe this is true, but in the Racing Post it says like 19th of December it's gone to Willie, you know. He must have had it for more than a week, I'd have thought. But that's what it says. She comes from Quavega's family, doesn't she? You know, you'd imagine that hill will suit her at Cheltenham, watching her here. You know, if these two were the same price, I think I'd just favour the second, considering, like, when you think about the hill at Cheltenham. You know, the winner has scope to improve jumping and did move nicely, but yeah, I'd just favour the second. But the winner's 7-1 and she's 10-1. So for me, you know, if you're wanting to back one of these, I'd back the runner up here. Particularly if Willie's only had her a week or so. I don't know about that, but yeah, it's probably not had her long. Worth noting here that Naturally Nimble and Willie de who ran roughly to the sort of form last time, and Naturally Nimble would be 8.5 lengths, so it could be decent. They could be two nice horses, these. Time will tell, I suppose. Right, the 3 mile grade 1 long distance novice chase. I guess really from our point of view, you know, it couldn't have gone much better for us really. Croke Park beat Better Days ahead here. And they were miles clear of the third. Croke Park led all the way, kind of stuttered into the first, but was good from there. He's been busy, hasn't he? This was third run of the season. You know, underestimated. Nobody seems to like this horse, not even the trainer. He's won 2 grade 1s though now, and I think he goes straight to Cheltenham. Gordon was saying, you know, we've got a little each way at 66s, haven't we? That's not a bad ticket anyway to have. You don't mind that. Better Days Ahead stayed on strongly to the line, just failing to get up. You know, in terms of the Browns, out of the two, you'd probably like him. He ticks a few more boxes in that, you know, he's got winning form at the track. He was staying strongly. The trip's going to suit him, and that hill and softer ground would also suit him. I think he's a big contender for the Browns. I do. Yeah, I like him. Just a note, one last Tango, yeah, put him up, didn't we? Sort of well backed 8s into 4s. He only lost by a length in like a mad blanket finish, weren't it? Yeah, last year's win one heavy. I think he's handicapped to win, but maybe wants a little more cut in the ground. I think that were the plan, though. Limerick good to yielding to soft in places. Sorry. 2 miles 7 Grade 2 novice hurdle. The big Westerner beat Moz's sister 4 1/4 lengths here with Manila's 6-0, another neck back in third. Yeah, big Westerner, she quickened smartly from 2 out, still looks raw. She's a big scopy mare, loads more to come from her. She looks a big contender for the Bartlett. She'll be getting £7 from the boys. Just a note of caution, seen often over the years, these big kind of scopy types, these big horses can often as novices kind of get weak through the season and the form can sort of drop off. It happens plenty. That I've seen it happen plenty in that Albert Bartlett, but she looks nice, doesn't she? She does. There's loads more to come from her. Where are we? Moz's sister, just give her a mention. She ran well, staying on after getting outpaced by the winner's sort of change of gear. She's a sort of smaller, hardier type than the winner, I mean, going forward into next season, you'd be taking the winner every day. But it might just be interesting. She could be for the Albert Bartlett, if going there. It's not quoted at all in the market, but the third horse she beat a neck here, Manila 6-0 is, and he's 100-1. So that'll give you some sort of idea what prices, if she goes there, she might be. Just worth remembering. Stella Story got beat in this last year and popped in at 33s, and yeah, she kind of got outpaced but stayed on again. Promises to be well suited by that, mad stamina demands of that race. It could be an interesting outsider on the day. Right then, and that's Thursday. On to the Friday now. Ran out of coffee. That's okay. Wife again for Christmas. Don't know what did it deserve her. I think that's why I always hit the bar with these life changes. I think I probably used all my luck up when I met her, There we go. Alright, that isn't it? And the thing is, with a video like this, I might make sure I don't need to go for a wee, Yeah, it's nice, that, isn't it? Right then, so coffee refilled, we have flask. We'll go to Kempton on the Friday, good to soft, good in places. 2 mile Grade 2 Wayward Lad Novice Chase. Sergino, yeah, he beat Ballyburn 7.5 here. Oh. Neither were good at the first. Ballyburn kind of reached for it, and Sergino was sketchy. Ballyburn led at a good clip. Sergino sort of tracked him out wide. Sergino were fast through the air at the 4th, which took him past Ballyburn, and then at the open ditch the next just stood off a mile and winged it. Yeah, I think it was then, at that point, you kind of knew you might be possibly about to witness something special here. Ballyburn went on again on the run to the next, and both were good there. Sergino were faster at the next, and then flew 4 out, taking him back into the lead. That were an awesome leap. They were miles clear at this point. These two good horses, aren't they? Two class horses, these. And they were miles clear. Turning for home, Nico started to press, and it was all over 3 out, weren't it? He were quick 2 out, still hard on the bridle, with Ballyburn toiling a few lengths behind. He's clear on the approach to the last, measured it well. Ballyburn made a bad mistake there, and Sergino just sauntered up the running for a really impressive victory. This was wow, weren't it? This was wow. Personally, well, this, I wouldn't say it sort of made or broke. It weren't exactly make or break, but it were a big moment for me, this, for my own sort of bunting over Christmas. I did back him. I took some of the 5-4 as well, so, backed him plenty for the Arkle and for this. And I'd say out of all the races this Christmas, this was the one I was the most nervous about, watching. You're taking Ballyburn on here, and you're taking him on like big. They were fairly big for me anyway. So I was nervous coming into this, But wow, this was some race, weren't it? Right, she wants to come back in now, sorry. Hold on a sec. Right, apologies there, we should be good from here. Right. Sprinter Sacre Galloping de Champs, this will there weren't it, for Chase debuts. Nick were right about his jumping, weren't he? The scope he has is frightening. Wow. He's unbeaten, he's odds on for the Arkle now. It's a hot Arkle still though, isn't it? JP's got Mashburn in the pocket there. They look well up to winning an Arkle, I'd say. But I think this fella's quicker. And we know that hill knows no fears to him, He just took off up the hill, didn't he, last year? I think this guy's just extra special. He's one of those, will try and get on the double, for the Arkle and Champion Chase for 2026. Yeah, they won't be generous odds, I wouldn't have thought. But sod it, we want to be with this horse, and it's probably the only time left that we'll be getting like odds against for him, so for a good while. But yeah, this were good, weren't it? He looks special, he does. Wow. Ballyburn ran into something here, didn't he? He didn't have the gears as Sergino, and it looks like he'll be going up in trip now. I'd imagine he'll be going to the old Moriarty there, 2-5 at Dublin, probably on a collision course with Impera Pass there from his own stable, and then up to the Browns. I don't know if he'll get the 3 mile. I don't, watching him, but he is bred to, isn't he? And if he does, he should be a class apart to the rest. It's very much plan B, I think, for him. I think at like best price 4-1 is one I'd have to be against. Like I said, it could be an attritional contest this year. I've just got in my head it is going to be like that. I think they're going to have a big field, they've got a strong pace, and it's been very dry, and I'd expect that to change in the spring. I'm kind of expecting we'll have a real sort of wet spring, These things tend to balance out a little. You're guessing a little bit that sort of stuff, aren't you? It's just, going on the last few years at Cheltenham as well. But yeah, I think at the prices, I'm kind of going to be against him, until he proves otherwise wrong. But I don't see how we're going to see him at 3 mile before then. I guess watching him in that Moriarty will give us some idea, won't it? Yeah. I mean, if he slams in pair of pass there or something and wins head in chest, you're probably looking at 6-4, aren't you? But we'll see. But yeah, that was a good race anyway. Enjoyed that one. Leopardstown. The chase course were good to yielding in places. The hurdles course were good to yielding in places. 2 mile 1 beginners. Geno Lapin beat What's Up Darling in 2.5. No flies on him. Another 4.5 lengths back in third. Wow. Sadly, we lost it from here. That's a shame, it is, Yeah, that's a shame for connections. Winner's huge, He's a massive horse. I had a little on Birdie or Bust here, and I kind of felt sorry for it, when they were turning in and he sort of ranged up sides it. I thought my telly had gone wrong or something. You look like a big cartoon horse, He's massive. I'm not sure I've seen a bigger horse than him. He's only 5, This were impressive. It were. He'll go up in grade now, and yeah, but fair play to him. He did this nice. There were loads of interesting types in here behind. I'd watch the rerun. I'd pay close attention to those in behind here, from like handicapping point of view. No flies on him. Yeah, back from the abyss, isn't he? Liked him for the Supreme once upon a time, then he just fell off a cliff, didn't he? He flew home here to take third. This was the first time he's been back to Leopardstown since he made that impressive hurdles debut. Form maybe didn't work out, but he looked a nice horse that day. And yeah, this was his first time back at the track since. He could be the new Percival Legal, He could be this that 2.5 handicap, isn't he? At the DRF. He'd be on my mind for that a little. There were others in here as well, back to normal. He's got his handicap mark now. He's got that ticked off. He was getting a very quiet ride here. Yeah, he's interesting for handicaps. Maybe the same handicap there. Nürburgring, another one. He's got his handicap mark now. He's been a busy boy. I'd imagine he'll just get a nice break now, and he'll bring him back in the spring, Joseph. So he'd be interesting there as well. Yeah. So should be a few winners coming out of that, I think, in behind. 2 mile 1 grade 1 chase. Solness beat Gaelic Warrior, best part of 4 length here. Marine National, another 3/4 length back in third. Joseph won fire, weren't he? What a Christmas he's had. They supplemented this horse. He had his ground. I was looking for something to take on Gaelic here. This is the one for me that got away. Huge prices in the morning. Still returned 25s or 28s. Yeah, missed this. I did. There's so much in it, but I missed this. Kicked myself a little after this. Gaelic Warrior, I liked this. I did. He looked quite professional for him. He did. He were right, but not wildly so. He only had fresh air on his outside, didn't he? He jumps great, this horse. He stayed on nicely. He's going to come on hugely for this. He is. The bare form isn't great, but he's going to improve a ton for it. And when he gets a kind of soft, heavy ground, I think we'll see something special like we saw in the Arkle again. He's 5-1 now, back to the price we backed him at. I expect that to be a fair bit shorter after the DRF. I do. I think he'll go in there. I'm half tempted to go in again on him, but I've got plenty on him. But yeah, I like this. Found a 50, pulled up, nasal discharge, Christmas. It's that time of year, isn't it? I mean, everybody knows somebody that's got a cold or something, and I guess like horses are no different, this time of year. And I'd imagine, yeah, he's something like that. He's probably just got a bit of a cold. He'll be back. Yeah, he's better than this, and he's normally very consistent. But we all get a bit poorly sometimes, don't we? Dino Blue though were very disappointing. Tongue-tied first time, disappointing first time. I'd be giving her a swerve for till she tells us any different. 2 mile grade 1 novice hurdle. It was just relentless, weren't it? Some rate racing, it were good. Romeo Coolio beat Blue Devassi 9. I got this wrong, to be fair. Yeah, I kind of like Blue Devassi. Yeah, Romeo Coolio put him away well, didn't he? He was prominent in the lead most of the way, jumped well apart from the last, had them all in trouble in behind turning in. This were a good time. Impressive and bounced back from a below par run last time. He's a big contender for the Supreme Years. No one's really stuck their hand up just yet. Well, there's still time. I think he'll hit the bar there, I do. I've said it a few times. Him and Firefox, I think they'll both kind of hit the bar. But he looks sure to run well, he does, and he looks a lovely chaser for next year. Blue Devassi, yeah, a bit disappointing here. Maybe flattered by that early season form. Yeah, maybe I fell for that a little. Yeah. Right then. Percy. Percival the Gelwell, that were a good result for his Ramblers, weren't it? He took out the big 3 mile handicap chase by 7. We put him up ante-post, didn't we, at 20s. Looked a cracking ride from Mark this, I did, although he said after it weren't his intention to get so far back. Yeah, look, we get plenty wrong, don't we? We don't get all that many like this, and I got a great kick out of watching him come from an unpromising position and just sort of scythe through them, close home. It was good. I enjoyed it, and I hope one or two you got on. I know at least one of you did anyway. Limerick, good to soft in places. 2 mile 6.5, grade 2, Dawn Run Mares Novice Chase. Bioluminescence beat Pigan 3 here. Jumped fantastic on chase debut. Tired a little from sort of 2 out. Come on a ton for this. She's a fine big scopy mare. She wants soft ground and a trip. This should be interesting for that mare's chase, but JP and Gavin do have plenty of options, and she will need soft ground. Probably get it, but yeah, they've got plenty of options, haven't they, those? But either way, she's one to follow, I'd say. She's lovely. She looked all last season like she was going to make a cracking chase, and she has, you could see her in a Troy town or something like that, big staying chasers. But yeah, she'd, 12-1's a little tempting, it is, for the mare's chase. If you knew she were going, yeah, but you just don't like. So that's kind of halfway through. Saturday, Leopardstown Chase was good to yielding places. Hurdles were yielding, good to yielding in places. 2.5 mile maiden hurdle. Kay Doherty. Yeah. He beat Cocktail Duvin half a length there. We crack 9 length back in third. 7-2, bigger on Betfair. Yeah. Do you know, I'll admit, I took a bit of the early 6-4. Felt quite pleased in the morning when he went on. I did top up just before the off again at like 4-1, a bit bigger. I've done that a couple of times this season. Not top up usually, like, you know, but that's 3 or 4 times I've done that now, and it's worked out, like, you know, and it makes you feel a little bit better if you're stuck with a shorter price. Yeah, but anyhow, led all the way here, looked a shade keen, kind of did plenty wrong, got a great leap in him, but also butchered a couple, you know. Mark never had to get too serious with him, but the runner-up kept him honest and they pulled nicely clear. This were a good time. It's a stunning looking horse, this. You've got to like this horse. Great big raking stride on him. He's going to make a cracking chaser. He's got loads of pace. He's got Arkle written all over him. He's 2026 Arkle for me at this stage. Willie says they're going to drop to 2 mile for the Grade 1 in Dublin, and we'll see. Yeah, I hope he got a bit of change on him at the bigger prices there. I apologise for not going through with that. But we'll see, you know. If I'm liking him for the Arkle, you'd like to think he could hit the frame in a Supreme, I guess, wouldn't you? You know. We'll see. Lovely horse. He is. He's nice. He's one to follow. Cocktail Divin. He made a very promising debut for Henry here. Displayed a cracking attitude. That'll serve him well. He'll win plenty of races. Lovely prospect going forward. He is. You know. He could make up into a Browns horse for next year. Henry's got a lot of nice young horses, hasn't he? He has. It's okay, yeah, we did well there, but we didn't do so well here, you know. Kate Bourbon let us down a bit. 2 mile 5.5, Rising Stars Beginners, DiCapo beat Chapeau de Soleil Neck. Kate Bourbon another half a length back in third. Right, jumped the first 4 fine, kind of got close to the 5th. I'd say from there on in he lost a bit of confidence, you know. He made a mistake at the next, and from there he was kind of slow and careful. He seemed to jump some okay, you know, fine at some, but generally slow and careful, you know. Turning for home, he kind of got to the lead going quite well, but he couldn't get away from him. And although he was good at the last, he was slowly away, you know. Just being too careful. He'll come on loads for this, he will. And he's screaming out, this fella, for a trip and soft ground. When he gets it, I think you'll see a dramatic improvement, I do. However, he does need to get braver, you know. He needs to get his confidence up, and hopefully that will come. But if it doesn't, it is going to hold him back, and he's going to end up being a very slow horse, you know. Don't write him off. Like I say, I think you'll see huge improvement up in trip for, you know, softer ground. But yeah, I'd say there's questions regarding his mentality for jumping. You know, he can jump fine, but He's only 5. He needs to man up, you know. Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully he can improve next time. Di Capo, I haven't looked really into him. Oh, he's going through so much here. I think he's just an handicapper, to be fair. I think he is. You know, he was race fit, weren't he? Well, his 2 were first runs. They'll improve a lot from this. Chapeau de Soleil. This were good debut. He jumped better than the 3rd. He'll improve as well for 3 Mile. You know, and he could develop into Brown's contender too. These horses could be kind of destined for that 10 up novice chase, you know. Savills Hurdle. That stays Hurdle. It's all about teapot, isn't it? It is. Teapot, having a nice cup of tea there, just watching them, thinking, yeah, fine. You know. 3 Mile Grade 1 Savills Chase. Galloping Deschamps beat Factor File 7.5 here. Gentleman's Game, another 5 length back in 3rd. Right. Led all the way here, Galloping. I thought Factor File settled fine early, but around the 6th he got a bit lit up, and he was always doing a shade too much from there. He made a bad mistake a couple of fences after that. He missed 3 out a little. He kind of stalked Galloping down to the last. He were quick away there, Factor File, and he tried to throw down a challenge. He got to within about a length of Galloping before the turbos kicked in on Galloping, and as we've often seen before, he just powered away and hit the line hard. The Pretender came to challenge, didn't he? And Galloping just chewed him up and spat him out here. He did. He did. This was an awesome display of class and power. One of our ramblers there, Mark Jeffries, he asked me a great question the other day. He says, like, outside of monetary gain, it was something like this, I'm paraphrasing, what would be your like favourite result for Cheltenham? I waffled a bit like I do. You know, it's clear to me now, mate. I want to see this horse. I do. I want to see him become a triple Gold Cup winner. You know, he's a magnificent beast, and I'd love to see him make it 3. I would. Right, we've done a decent job of covering the dangers here at nice prices in the Gold Cup. There's just one little problem, that there isn't any. You know, there isn't. You know, but I don't mind that approach. I don't. You know, if you kind of got all the kind of dangers covered, it allows you to smash into him on the day. Please gamble responsibly. Like, you know, that's kind of what I did last year. You know, if we had sort of 6 or 7 points on the race, I don't know, I maybe had like 10 on him on the day, like, you know, and I'll do the same again. Or you get bets running onto him, don't you? And that's how I play it. If you took like the sort of 7 to 2 and 4s you could have got before, fine, well played, like, you know. Yeah, he's something into this horse, he is. Of the vanquished, then Factor File. He's a proper horse, he is. This is a proper horse, which makes this performance, you know, a Galloping so special. He's not put mugs away here, you know. This Factor File is a proper beast, he is. And he's put the rest away with ease here. Trip, still not quite sure here. You know, I think he'll get another 2, but he will need to settle better. He did kind of get a little mid-race here for some reason. But Willie is a master at that, isn't he? It's only ever his second run at 3 Mile, which probably showed, and only his 9th start under rules, Galloping's had 21. If they ever decide to go Ryanair, as I said before, this is a lump job, it is. Please gamble responsibly. He's a class horse, this is a class act, Factor File. Don't be thinking it's not just because he's got done here. He's bumped into, possibly I'm starting to think, is he the best staying chaser I've ever seen. He could be. He's up there anyway, and he's got to be. I think they're more likely to go Gold Cup though. 4-1. You wouldn't be rushing to take that, would you? 4-1. You give it a choice like 6-4 for Galloping or 4-1 for this guy. I think I know where I'd be going anyway. He can't beat Galloping, can he? It just doesn't. He's going to have to get lucky. But nothing can beat Galloping, not when he's in this form. Yeah. Hotwood, I thought, ran a great trial for the Ryanair. 25, so that makes some appeal. Already over an hour here. You needed them fast, didn't you? I did say. I know the way you're thinking. He ran a great race here. This was a lot better. I think he's got a fantastic chance in the National. He might just run a shade too well for that. They might chance their arm in the Gold Cup. I don't know. I say it's borderline. He's 50-1 for the Gold Cup and 33s for the National. If you've not got this fella on side yet, they're not bad bets, neither of them, Another 2 furlong in that Gold Cup will suit him. It will. And when you see Factor File at 4s and this fella at 50s, if that's the way they do go, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't if he finished in front of Factor File. Particularly, if it comes like soft heavy, that sort of ground. But I'm kind of hoping to keep him for the National, and if they do, I think he's a great bet there. I do. We'll see, but yeah, I think he's gone under the radar a bit. I thought this was fair on this. Limerick, good to soft in places. Just a quick mention, McClory, we were looking at him for handicaps, weren't he? He took out a 2 Mile maiden here well. I think we're still okay. The second were rated 109 and we were getting £8 off him. Yeah, he looks interesting for handicaps for Emmett Mullins and JP, 2 Mile 5 maiden hurdle. Final Demand beat Timmy Tuesday 15 here. He did a fair impression of Ballyburn, really, I thought, watching this. Low head carriage, bit too keen. Well, a bit keen, a shade keen. He jumped great. He quickened really smartly turning in. A bit awkward 2 out, and at the last, but he'd done plenty by then. And he won as he liked. Nice horse. Yeah, he looks a proper horse. I'd say he could be a Ballymore Albert Bartlett type, and either way he'll make a cracking chaser next year. I'd say he's one to follow. Yeah, he's nice. 2 Mile 3.5, Grade 1 for Heen, Novice Chase. Impera Pass beat Jordan's 4-length here. Mirzor West led at a slow pace here. Simon Torrens rode a good race here on Mirzor West. He did. He tried to nick it from the front, unlike a doubtful stayer. Sam did try to press him a while, but his horse doesn't like to be in front. So he were kind of a bit snookered, really, He were a bit limited to what he could do to bring his horses like stamina into play. in the end, they did quicken down the back. Dowell rode a lovely patient ride here on Impera Pass, and he just kind of smoked them with his class and speed over the last two. Final winning ride, this weren't it for Dowell. You know, he's been a fine jockey, and he made it a nice one as well. It was a good ride this to go out on for him, weren't it? Yeah, Willie's saying that Moriarty at the DRF possibly meet Ballyburn there. He's talking of missing Cheltenham. He keeps saying it all together with his horse. He says there's no race for him. Maybe if he down Ballyburn he'd have a rethink there, I don't know. Yeah, Mirza West don't stay. Yeah, and Waterford Whispers, he dropped out disappointing, didn't he? You know, he'll look. We were liking him for handicaps, weren't we? That 2.5, that new one at Cheltenham, but we'll just need to see a bit more spark for him next time. You know, this isn't terrible in the scheme of things for his handicap mark, but yeah, just don't know if something was maybe amiss here, or he just weren't really that fit. I don't know. Newbury, good to soft. 2.5 mile grade 1 shallow hurdle. The New Lion beat Wendigo, best part of 5 here. Travelled great, slick jumping, and just absolutely tied with the opposition, didn't he? This was good to see. I like him. I do, as I mentioned before, I think he's like the best of the English, you know, novice hurdlers. I'd say he's a big contender for the Ballymore. He's not slow. You know, your typical winner of this is like a galloper, isn't it? But he's got gears. He's 100 to 30 though, best price for the Ballymore now. There will be a big Irish contender, probably more than one, and I don't think this fella will go off favourite. So if you want to be with him, I'd wait if you're not on him so far. I would say he's the best chance the English have had for years in that race, but there will be some big Irish challengers emerging, they will. Right. We're getting there now, we are. On to Sunday, and we just got a couple of races here. 2.5 mile grade 3 mares hurdle. July Flower beat Carly Conti 4 here. I think the front 3 went way too quick here. The pace never kind of relented, and they never got a breather. This were a very quick time. The winner, July Flower, I'd say benefited from a patient ride from off the pace, and won well going away. She's been in France, hasn't she, after initially being with Henry. This were her first run back for Henry. You'd imagine there's a lot of improvement to come. Henry says they bought her to win the mares, and she's 20 to 1 for that. 20 to 1. I've let a few of these go. I think, you know, like next year, if I do it, if I'm back again next year, I do think a few of these at the bigger prices, I should have put more like 1-pointers on. Like, we should be throwing a bit of change at some of these, because I kind of have, but I haven't always put them up here, and some of them are looking good, but plenty I kind of cashed out, you know. I backed like 4 horses for the bumper and cashed them all out again, you know. So it'd been like, just been a bit messy, but there is a couple I think maybe that I wish I'd have put up, and we'll have a point on her at 20s for that mares. It's Henry. This were first run, she should come on plenty for it. I think she were a bit flattered here though, you know. how the race panned out, but we know she's running for that, and I'm not sure if either of those front two, the big two, are going for the mares. I think they both might end up in the champion. I like Jade DeGrugy and Cargeese. If we haven't seen these two yet, Cargeese to me would have to prove she can settle and stay, but her form's looking gold plated. Jade DeGrugy's is looking good too. I like them two mares for Willie, I do, but look, we've got a bit on Jade DeGrugy anyway. She's 20-1. We'll just have a point on her. We know she's running there. And yeah, that race, them front two come out. We'll have a small bet on her at 20s. The runner-up, Carla Conti, I was kind of on her at nice prices. I thought she deserved marking up for this effort, being up there throughout. She finished miles clear of Gitara and Lots of Joy, the other two who were up there. She's only 4 and she'll give in the winner £5 here too. There's plenty more to come from her. She moved through the race nicely. She'd be interesting for the mares too, but she could go for the Coral Cup. I'm not quite sure which way they're going, whereas we know the winner is definitely going mares. That's a target. So we'll just have a point on her at 20 as the winner there. Okay. Right then, and last but by no means least, the Grade 1 2 mile hurdle. Bright Days Ahead beat Winter Fog. Be 30 lengths here. So we ended up on a high, didn't we? We finished off well, us Ramblers. The State Man were another length and a quarter back in third. Team Elliott got the tactics spot on here, didn't he? King of Kingsfield led at a good pace. Bright Days Ahead tracked and the pair were clear. Third last, King of Kingsfield made a bad mistake. Yeah, they were miles clear turning in. Brighter Days went on at the second last and just won by miles. 30 lengths it won by. Jumped much better, didn't she, with a lead and going left-handed. Mares, really? I said I didn't believe it before. I still don't believe it. I mean, really? I think she goes champion hurdle, this girl. They've never said it, but they may have the Dawn Run thing in their mind. I've mentioned that before. I'm kind of sure, if you just had a pint with Gordon down the pub, he just sort of said, oh, she's going to pay State Man and she'll win a champion hurdle and a Gold Cup and everything because she's that good. Maybe. She's only 5, rising 6. She's improving rapidly. She's special. Negatives, she had a very hard race here, maybe unnecessarily so. I thought that can leave a mark, and also the track I've mentioned before, haven't I? This was good though, weren't it? State Man though, he didn't run his race, did he? He's better than this, he is, but we've got some proper horses this year in this division, haven't we? I put Lotsy Mouth in front of him. I put Bright Days Ahead in front of him. Constitutional in front of him. We don't quite know about this Amsterdam as well. I wonder if maybe Bright Days Ahead and Lossiemouth might both go to the Irish champion with State Man, and Amsterdam comes across for this international, and maybe if one of those two mares gets kind of slammed by the other, then that one would be going to the mares hurdle. If there's not much in it, they could both end up in the champion quite easily. So we'll see. We've got Lossiemouth covered. I've got it written down here. Do we go 2 points Bright Days Ahead? Best price 11-2 and a point Amsterdam at 12s. Now, I must confess I've got a bit of change on these already at bigger prices and I'm just not sure what to do. I'm quite keen to take on Constitutional. I am. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to feel rushed with my decision. Just leave it for now. But we're thinking we got 3 points Lozzie at 14s. End up with 6 points on the race, don't we? But I think we've got it, in my mind, kind of covered. Anyway, in my mind. And we got scope there, and maybe one goes in the bin and we can build on the other one a little. I'm not quite sure. I just could do with the prices being just a bit bigger than they are. Yeah, I'll see you later in the week and make a decision anyway. Okay, I don't know. Right, performance of the week anyway. Here we go. I think we got this nailed. I'm quite happy with these three horses, I think, and probably in this order. Number one, for the second year running at Christmas, it's Galloping Deschamps. He's up there, isn't he? Is he the best ever that I've seen? I don't know, but he's certainly up there with Best Mate, Courto Star and Denman. I'm not one too much for comparing, like, he were better than him 20 years ago and all this, Just enjoy him. He's a gift, isn't he? He's very firmly in that company anyway. Can he become a triple Gold Cup winner? I hope so. I do. I really want him to do it. I'll be on him. I know we haven't officially put him up, but I'm sure plenty are on already, and I hope he does it. I'll be on his side on the day. I will. He's the king, isn't he? He met the brightest pretender to his throne here, chewed him up and spat him out. He did. And I love Factify, I did, but he did. Number two, I gave to Sergino. This were wow, weren't it? This were an incredible display of pace and jumping on fencing debut. He looks another special one, doesn't he, off the Nicky Henderson conveyor belt. Yeah, all roads lead to the Arkle now, and he'll take some beating there. Number three, I gave to Bright Days Ahead. I know State Man didn't run his race here, but still, wow. I mean, it was jaw dropping, weren't it? It were. She's improving at a rate of knots. She is. I like her. I love her to bits. She's special. She smashed that field to pieces, didn't she? Great. Right then, going forward, Punchestown tomorrow. Just a couple of names to note. I-Class Hero, St. Lucy. Worth keeping an eye on those. I'm not putting them up as bets are out, but yeah, just a few names to conjure with there. New Year's Day at Cheltenham. I had a bet. I had a bet in the Relkeel. It looks a hot race. It does. It looks a great race. Lucky Place. We like him. Langadan is just thrown in on ratings. He is. Golden Ace is there as well. The horse I backed, however, is Salva. I like these 4-year-olds. I'm kind of with him, although he will be 5. It'll be his birthday. 6 lengths or so behind Masborough in that Triumph. That looks good form, doesn't it? He ran really well on his reappearance. They're giving it a soft at the minute. They're predicting plenty of rain though on Wednesday. He'll relish all that, and he'll relish the step up in trip. I think I like him. I took 9-2. I think he might be into 7-2 now. I haven't checked. But yeah, he's a bet for me anyway. I've backed him, and if I've not backed him, I'd back him at 7-2 as well. But he's a good race. And Tremor, we get to see Monty Star, don't we? I had a little top up on him at 20s. I don't know if to put another point on him there. What have we got? I think we're 3 points Factor File, a point Monty's, a point Corbett's Cross. He'd have to get lucky to beat your Galloping, wouldn't he? But I've got a feeling he might be the horse to push him the most. I think he'll take that out at Tremor. Should we have another point on him at 20s? Then you've got a nice platform there, haven't you? No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it just because I know the way your thinking's there at 50s, isn't it, as well? Yeah, really, if we're putting another one up, it should probably be him. So we'll leave it. We've got a point at 20s. Yeah. Sunday we've got the Lawlers and Ace, haven't we? So I'll try and get to see you later in the week, and we'll have a little chat about that one. Okay. And there we are. That's well over an hour. Well done if you got this far. I do appreciate your time. That was some racing, weren't it? Yeah, so thanks for your time. I do appreciate it, and I'll try and get to see you again later on in the week. Alright, mate.